I wonder this morning as Christians, if we have yielded our own will and yielded ourselves so completely to God, God can trust us. The place that He has put us. I wonder this morning of myself, if I could be so yielded to God could trust me. Could trust Brother Neville. Could trust our trustee board, our deacon board, our members of our church. We all have a place and we got a duty. The minister's got a place of duty to stand and preach the unsearchable riches of Christ without compromising. If he's called to be a preacher, he wouldn't spare one thing for one person if he's called to be a preacher. And the member of the church, he's called to be a member of this certain group, that he would not compromise. If the church believes that we should not gamble, then that member should never touch a deck of cards. We don't believe in drinking, he should turn his head completely from drinking. If we do not believe in gambling or smoking, the member of this church should never touch such a thing. God gives complete deliverance. When He will do it if we'll completely surrender ourselves to Him. If we will completely deliver ourselves into His hand, then God can live in us. Christ, the hope of glory. Amen. He can reflect Himself from us as we get ourselves out of the way. Then our thoughts are His thoughts. Could you imagine Christ smoking a cigar? Could you imagine Christ drinking or playing cards? Then if your spirit is part of His Spirit, He wants it to be upon your confession, but you permit the devil to come in and take over it. And all the time in your heart, way down deep, you know you're wrong when you do those things. And when one member would talk against the other member, you know that's wrong. You're commanded to pray for one another, not to talk against one another, but to love one another. And if someone is down, let's pick him up. Help him. Now, that makes us a unified group of believers. Now, when we don't obey that, then we don't obey God and we displease God. And therefore our church, our people cannot prosper, the church cannot go on, is because we're disunified together. As Jesus said, a little leaven leavens the lump.